Hi, it's Dre Griggs with Obsidian Wisdom. Today we answer the question, where should I focus my attention to enjoy my life? When it comes to enjoying your life, there are two avenues that you get to choose. You get to choose how you spend your time. You get to choose how you spend your money. When you focus your time and money on things that are valuable to you, then you're going to enjoy life. The mistake that most of us make is we focus so much on money that we forego a lot of our time, where we're giving our time to get the money, and we find that we're not quite syncing with our overall values and our goals. When it comes to your life goals and the things that are most important to you, you want to be moving towards those. The good book says, what benefit is it to gain the whole world if it costs you your soul? It really brings home the idea that there is something in this world that is more valuable than all the stuff that you can get, all of the money you can buy. It is what you do with your time, the experiences that you create with the people that you love and the causes that you believe in. We often are selling the things that matter to us most in the short term, and we're sacrificing all of our long-term joys and happiness. You'll find that most people who have regret in the last days of their life, it is because they did not spend their time in the most effective way, where they focused on things that just didn't matter. Whether it was spending their money on things that didn't matter, or whether it was spending their time on things that didn't matter, or even if they were things that they wanted to do, but because they were concerned what other people would think, that they ended up spending their time worrying about what other people thought, so they didn't spend their time doing things that made them happy and brought them joy. For you to enjoy life, you really have to hone in on what are these 3 life goals that I really want? What are 3 things that are very important to me? And what can I do in the short term, the medium term, to make sure that I have the long-term ability to do these things? The other thing that you want to do is you need to make sure that you're focusing in the right order. So as a father who has a family, I know that my children are going to grow up and they're going to leave the house one day, and that I won't be able to get that time back with them because they'll probably start their own family. They'll be in their own career, living their own life. They may not even live in the same state as me. As a result, I know I need to focus my time right now on what I do with them. I also understand that there is a long-term play that when they're gone, I'm not going to be holding my kids back, and I don't want them to live with me forever. I do want them to experience life and to find their own joy of life, and that may be with me, but it probably won't be. And so I do have multiple avenues of things that I work on with my spare time that then enables me to have that set up for when they leave. I love writing books and stories and creative content. And so I do spend some time each week on different things that mean something to me as well, but I make sure that I go in the right order. It will bring me little joy if I was able to have all the money in the world, if I wasn't able to spend the time and the joy and the happiness with my kids. The money for me is to create experiences with them. So I can't sacrifice my experiences with them to get the money. I have to be able to hold all of my core values together, and that is wisdom and entrepreneurship, compassion, family, love, and freedom. So I have these core values, and I make sure that each decision that I make with my time speaks to one of my core values. Whenever you're dealing with financial anxiety, more times than not, you're spending your money or your time on something that is not a core value, or you're sacrificing one of your core values to get the money and the time. The main benefit of money is its ability to be traded for anything. You don't want to trade anything for money because that's not what it's designed for. Money is not meant to fill us up or keep us warm within itself. Money is meant for us to exchange for things that are of value to us. So instead of us being in a barter system where if I'm a farmer, I can only trade with people who need the food that I farm. Instead, I have the ability to trade money with any and everybody because everybody is able to use that to trade it again for something that they want. If you understand that money is meant to trade for something that you want, then you'll be less likely to trade money for the things that you ultimately would be spending your money on. For example, if I was to sacrifice the relationship with my children in the early going, I would likely spend money to try to buy back that relationship in the future. Whether I want to help them get out of financial debt, or whether I want to help them buy a house or a car or a wedding or something like that, where I'm spending my money to buy back that relationship. But instead, if I don't trade the relationship for money, then I don't have to spend the money to get the relationship back in the future. Instead, I can operate in a more effective and efficient manner where the money that I am spending is only on things that I do want and I'm not willing to trade it back on. So as long as I maintain my core values where I don't sell that for the joys of the world, then I'll be able to spend my money in a more effective way on freedom in my family where we're still all together. And it's really the goal that we should all have. The difference is if you aren't intentional with your money and time, then you find yourself just reacting on a daily basis. Where if someone offers something to you, you don't really have a reason to say no. It's not that you have a thought out plan where you know exactly where your money is going to go each month. And I'm not saying that you have to keep track of it down to the penny, but I am saying that you understand, at least in percentages, where my money is going. I know I want to take a trip once a year with my family, so there is money that goes towards those trips each year. I know that I want to be able to help my kids with college funding, so there's money that goes towards helping them with college funding. I understand that I want to be able to pay off all of my debts so that my money is allocated more effectively, so there is money that goes towards paying off my debt each month. It's not that I'm unable to have fun or I'm unable to donate. It's that there is a percentage that is allocated in my budget that goes towards each of these different avenues. And as a result, I find myself able to enjoy life a lot more because I'm never having to spend my money to buy something back that I sold for the money in the first place. I'm able to hold on to everything that matters to me because I have an intentional design. I know what's most important to me. I know what money is going to be traded for, and I know what money cannot be traded for. There are things in this life that are more valuable than money, and the sooner that you realize that, the better you'll be at not having to pay such a high price to buy those things back. Your health is one of those things. If I had $1 every time someone who sacrificed their health to get their money, and then they have to spend all of their money to buy their health back. But sometimes the cost is too high, where you can't buy your health back. The damage is done. The last thing we'll talk about today is making sure that you major in major things when it comes to your money, whether you're talking about spending or investing. If you are investing, they'll say, look, you have the ability to make small wins every single day. But if your large loss overcomes the entire gains you've had for the year, then you've lost the whole year. You want to have a certain risk component in your investment portfolio that it makes sure that you're not going to lose all of your wins for the year with 1 or 2 bad days. The same holds true with spending money. You don't want to be someone who is nickel and diming where you're going to the grocery store and you're saving $1 here, you're saving 50 cents there, you're saving $3 here, but then you go and buy this expensive car that has an $800 a month payment. All of the money that you've been saving each month on your groceries has been lost because you spent the money on an $800 a month car payment. Now, it's not to say that you can't have an $800 a month car payment, but it is to say that when you design how you spend your money, focus on the things that bring you the largest impact. Yes, every dollar does add up, and yes, every dollar could become something bigger, but if you allow one bad day of spending to overlap all of the saving that you've done for the year, then you still lost the year. So just the same way in investing, you have certain caps to make sure that you limit your losses. You should also have caps when it comes to spending so that you limit your spending. It should not be easy for you to turn a winning year into a losing year based on one decision at one particular moment in time. It's very difficult for any of us to be perfect all the time. We're all reasonable people. We all have things that happen and come up where we make certain spur of the moment decisions. But if you set yourself with a cap where you design your plan in a way where you are very cautious about signing yourself up for any ongoing expenses, where it would be better to spend $1,000 on a one-time trip than it would be to sign up for a $300 a month payment for 5 to 10 years. By being very cautious about allocating your money over a long period of time where you're committing to pay a certain monthly expense for a year to 5 years, you then limit the impact of large losses. On the other end, you don't want to sign up to spend $1,000 multiple times a year. That would still fall in the category of reoccurring payments. So you don't want to be spending $1,000 once a quarter because you always want to go on a trip or there's always some sort of an event. You really want to be very cautious about signing up for anything over the long term, because if you sign up for something that hinders your ability to allocate your money and your time in the way that's aligned with your core values, well, you've signed up and hindered your plan from taking place for however long that is. If you like the video, I ask you to like and subscribe, and feel free to check out other Wisdometric videos if you're looking for ways to eradicate financial stress, generate passive income, and build a prosperous retirement strategy.